We are live. Today is a Thursday, January 30th, here in Thailand. And today we're going to talk about whether or not Thai society remains as traditional as it once was, or as it seems. And I've been talking about these kind of things lately. And thank you very much, Dale. Appreciate it. Yes, I was going to say before I got started here that today is, for me, is the last day of the month, which means I need to try to make a little bit of money on the last day of the month. I can get this thing for you here. There you go. Try to get as much money as I can just to make a little extra scratch. So I have my goal up here. Five super chats of 100 baht, which is what, 500 baht, and then after they take it, it works out to about I think it's $11, $11.50, something like that. So it's like 400 baht. It's like 12 bucks. So for the hour and a half, 2 hours that I'm here, I get some McDonald's wages for the day, so that's fantastic. I guess. Anyway, listen, I got to get into this right away here. But we are going to talk about that a little bit and see what kind of things have changed over the years, because I've been talking about, the thing is when you've been here, I hate to say this, but when you've been here as long as I have, and it's not easy to remember everything, but you start to think about, hey, how did it used to be? And that's why guys come in now, they've been here 2 years, a year, 6 months, whatever it is, and like, oh, Thailand's fantastic. Thailand is fantastic. Okay, it's a great place. Don't get me wrong. But it has its share of problems, and it's seen its share of changes. And one of the best changes that it's made, when I got here, there was no BTS and MRT, and there was none of that. CityLink. And now there is, and it's helped a lot. And supposedly, sometime this year, I think it's the BTS is what they're calling it, although it is underground and over on Ramkhamhaeng Road, will be completed, and that will help connect a lot of the lines and make things better for people here in Bangkok, because you don't need more traffic on the road. So we've talked about that. But I don't know, aside from the smaller cities and the villages, like, I'm not sure where Jem is, but if he were watching, he lives out in, I think it's Chayapum, and, thank you. All right. Got my coffee. He lives out in Chayapum, and I'm sure that out there, things are quite a bit more traditional than they are here in Bangkok. And in Bangkok, you know, everywhere you go, I mean, look, there's Burger King, McDonald's, KFC. There's all kinds of chain stores. It's become westernized. There's so many shopping malls. So, you know, when you think about it, okay, it's bound to happen. Things change. But that's what we're going to talk about. Now, before I get started, there's my coffee right here. Espresso panna cotta. Do me a favor, if you like this live stream, if you like the live streams I do, if you like the videos I do, leave me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I do have a video coming up in the next couple of days. I have 3 videos coming up that I'm working on right now. One is from the Pata Zoo, which I talked about a little bit yesterday. Another one is of the park down the street here, Suwon, and the vendors all around the area. And then, where's the other one at? Oh, the Bangkok market. And, you know, I went to Bangkok market this morning, and it's amazing in the morning just how busy it is and how much is going on. But I gotta say, by, say, U.S. standards, the market is not exactly what you would call spotless. There are a few markets, if you're gonna compare to the United States or Australia or whatever, there are a few markets that are really, really clean, like Hortokor. That's a pretty clean market. But most of them are not that, you know, like Klongdoi, they are not all that clean. And there are rats and stuff like that. Now, oh, I forgot, I gotta keep going here. I don't have the best memory for some reason. But we are going to talk about the complexities of Thai society and explore whether it truly upholds the traditional values that many associate with Thailand. But before I continue, do me a favor, listen. I am Scott. I'm an American who's been living here for 30 years now, almost half my life. And if you need a consultation for any reason, send me an email at anamerikaninbangkok@gmail.com. It's not all that expensive, especially when you factor in how much you spend on a trip. But also, if you want, you can become a Patreon patron. And everything is down below in the description. You can use the CASHAPP. There's all kinds of ways that you can help. And you know what? You don't have to do that. I'm not saying you do. You can just watch. That's fine. That's okay. And I appreciate, I've been getting a lot of subscribers lately. And a lot more views. And I appreciate that. And hopefully, with all the trips that I have coming up and the places I'm going to be going, in Thailand and outside of Thailand, things will continue to get better. I'd really like to hit 20,000 subscribers, but that may take a while. I don't know. It just depends on the viewers, you know. So let me see something here. Yeah, it is backwards. When you see Bali, you cannot read the word Bali, or is it opposite? Because it should not be opposite. And you should be able to just read Bali, not ILAB. I want to make sure of that. It's reversed. Yeah, so I have to see if that's possible to change it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to do it after the stream, I guess. I have my little... That's too bad. I don't know why it's like that. Oh, you know what? Let me see something here. How to reverse video on YouTube because it's opposite of what it should be. All right. Well, I'll figure that out after the video. I will figure it out, and we'll take care of it. But let me get to this here. On the surface, Thai society seems somewhat traditional, very traditional, I think. It's hierarchical, it's deeply influenced by Buddhism, and if you know about some of the concepts that take place here, one of them is Grengjai, okay, which is, it's basically consideration, Yeah, that's probably what it is. But Grenjai is consideration for others so that you avoid conflict, or something like that. And also Sanuk and like Mipe and Rai. Sanuk is the pursuit of fun. Even when Thais are working, they like to practice Sanuk. And they like to live their lifestyle. I was talking to a Thai woman the other day about this, my friend's wife, about how, like she was saying, my kids, they're too Mipe and Rai. They're too, like, laid back. And that happens all the time. They're not like type A people who are very ambitious and they go after things. They're laid back, they're chilled, and they just kind of want to go at their own pace. And like, I'll tell you what, Alex, he is, I don't want to say he's slow to do things, but he takes his time. He, you know, it's like you try to rush him and he's like, hey, let me go over and get this and get that. He's very Mipe and Rai. Nicholas is kind of like that, but not quite as much as Alex. So that is something. But really, the truth is that it's Thailand is now much more a mix of the traditional and modernity. And certain aspects of the culture are evolving, and certain aspects just stay entrenched and they're not changing at all. Respect for hierarchy, age, status, social position, they still dictate behavior, and that means in the family and also at the workplace. Listen, I am the head of the family, right? Generally, I don't have to go after, if there's food on the table and somebody's serving it, I'm not serving other people. People are serving me. And it's just an act of politeness. It's not, it's an act of respect. It's not that I'm lazy or they're go-getters. It's the polite way to be. It's respectful. And Buddhism also takes a big, has a big part, plays a big part, sorry. Whether or not the Thais are staunch Buddhists or not, but they believe in spirits, and this influences their daily life and the way that they, even the way that they practice in business. Man, this is good. I try not to get the panna cotta too much because it has a little bit of sugar in it. While nuclear families are more common in Thailand now, family ties are very strong. I mean, in my family, everybody knows everything about everybody. There are no secrets. We don't keep secrets. And I hear all these people talking about, why ever get married? I'm never getting married. Oh my God, marriage is so bad. I guess it's bad if you're with somebody that is not a great partner. It's not a great match with you. I mean, I've been married for what now, 26 years? And I mean, we have our spats, but for the most part, I mean, like, she's got my back, I got her back. We got the kids back. The kids know about us. They know how we are. They know how she is. They know how I am. They know that she's a mother, that she will be like on them about everything. Did you do this? Are you gonna do that? Can you do? Let me show you how to cook this. Let me show you how to do this. And they're like, nah. But they know that that's how she is, and they know how I am, where I'm very stern with them. When I say something, it goes, right? And another thing is that public confrontation is still not really something that should be done in public. It is frowned upon. People here prefer subtle, indirect methods of communication. So you may not go up to somebody and go, I don't like the way you've been doing your job. I think I might have to fire you if you screw up again. That's not the way that they handle things here. At least not most people. Okay, it's much more subtle than that. Now, some of the things that have suffered over the years here and how the tradition has gone by the wayside. Women are much more independent now. You know, they're much more apt to work. In fact, I hate to say it, but to me, it seems like the women, they are the backbone of Thai society. They're the ones who really work the most. They work the hardest. And that's not, you know, in all cases. I know some Thai men that work very hard. But I would say, on the whole, you know, the women, they're the ones. I mean, listen, my wife is, when it comes to work, man, I don't even bother her. I don't even want to bother her because she is just so, I got to get this job done. I got to do this. I go, no, take 5 minutes. Take a breather. You know, she's just, she won't do it. Also, LG, I have to look at the acronym because I don't remember. LGBTQ being accepted here, much more accepted than it used to be, say, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, I mean, it's fairly accepted. I don't want to say it's tolerated because it is more than being tolerated. Much more than being tolerated. It's kind of a, how can I say this? It's like a balancing act. The people want to acknowledge that there are gays and transgenders, but they also want to make sure that the man is the man and the woman is the woman. That's why, you know, I mean, I've talked about this before, and I think people should always think about this. Men should always think about this, and men should be, I hate to say it, men got to be the men here. You can't just be passive, and I don't think that works. The women don't respect you as much. If they ask you a question like, where should we go out to eat? Well, I don't really know, but let me think about it, and I'll tell you in a second. Okay, then you tell her. Then if you go there and she complains, too bad. You asked, I'm telling you. Right? But most of the time, the man doesn't go to her and go, well, honey, where should we go eat? I mean, you know, of course, on occasion it may happen. But I'm saying, for the most part, the women will ask you, or what do you want to do? It's up to you. She will always say, up to you. Yeah, and I've heard about how, you know, the man's always the breadwinner in the family. Listen, I used to make a lot more than my wife made. You know, I mean, I worked for 20 years here. And I used to make a lot more than she did. But she was in school. She was starting out in her career. Now I make less money. She makes more money. You know, if you don't have a solid foundation, you don't have a solid relationship, that ain't gonna work. Because they're gonna be like, well, hey, how come you're not taking care of me? Well, I do take care of her. But, you know, it's not like it used to be. So that's something else to think about. Younger, in the old days, families often had arranged marriages, just like, say, in India. That happened. And for whatever reason, it used to work. The younger generation is moving away from that. And they're using dating apps. You know, they're meeting people through friends. They're having a lot more sex before marriage, for sure. When I first came over here, now I didn't believe this all the time, but some of the women would tell me, oh no, there's no hanky-panky before we decide we're going to get married. It would usually be, well, we can have sex before marriage, but it would be, this is my boyfriend, and like that guy was supposed to be the guy for them for the rest of their life. It was not the same where here now, some promiscuity is tolerated, is accepted. Back in the old days, if you were promiscuous, then that was kind of like, it was much different the way people thought. And I'm not saying it didn't happen, just like, I mean, come on, in the 50s in the United States, people weren't supposed to be having sex before marriage, but yet in the back of their Chevrolet, they were having sex. I'm just saying, on the whole, things have changed. The girls now are much more promiscuous. They're more apt to have several boyfriends throughout their life. And we're not talking about the girls that, you know, work in the bar who they're having customers, not boyfriends. Hey. Younger generations of Thais are also challenging the work hierarchy in startups and like creative type industries. And that's why most of the time you're not going to see a young guy in charge of a bunch of older people. That's how it didn't used to be that way. Now you may see that, but in the past you didn't see that. Guy had to, you know, done his time, put his time in, and he was an older guy and he was in charge. And even now, you see sometimes, I'm not talking about between Thais, it may be different, but if a Thai asks a bunch of people to go out, he's paying. A young Thai is not going to go out with a bunch of older Thais and he's asking them, hey, let's go out. Generally, that's not going to happen. Unless maybe he is in a position of authority. But, I used to go out with a lot of Thais in the past. I used to go out all the time. And they would ask, well, come, we're going to take you to this restaurant. I didn't have to pay a thing. It was just known, I'm not paying. They were paying, you know. Yes, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? I think my coffee is done. Let me finish this up here. There we go. So, you know, in the past, things were a little bit different. And what I find myself doing now, a little bit more than in the past. Thank you there, Gilles. Thank you very much. Choke D to you. Let me give a thank you to you there. Let me see here. Like, there you go. That's another one. That's 2 out of 5. Only need 3 more. But I find myself now looking back and trying to remember how were things. And you know what? One thing that I remember a lot, I remember quite well, is that when I first got here, in the United States, I had a Motorola phone. It was like, you know, the brick phone. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't like this big, but I mean, it was like this big. It was a, you know, the black Motorola. It was like, everybody had that phone. With the buttons that were kind of yellow, right? I had that back home, but to bring it over here, I didn't even think about that. I was like, bring over a phone to Thailand. But then, after I had been here for a short period of time, I started noticing more and more people having phones. And they weren't just a phone. They were starting to become smartphones. And I thought, man, I really want one of those, but I thought they're expensive. They were like, you know, $1,000 here. Just like now, they're expensive. You can get a cheap phone, but back then, I think they were a little bit more expensive on the whole. then I was thinking to myself, God, I need to get me one of these phones, man. I can have the girls call me. I can be out. Because I had an apartment on, what is it? Soy 1? No. Not Soy. That was Soy 2. This was Soy 1. I had an apartment on, it was between Soy 1 and Soy 3, right next to Bumrungrad Hospital. I had a cheap apartment at first, and I had an apartment that was 45,000 baht, including the utilities. Both of those places, we had landlines. Every time I called, it cost me like 4 baht or something like that. 4 baht a minute. TkyoSam, how you doing? What's happening? But every minute was 4 or 5 baht, right? It was not cheap. Hey Jim, how you doing? But the thing is that it didn't really matter. Well, what mattered was I wasn't going out. I couldn't just go, oh, I got my phone in my pocket. I would go out and it would be like, well, this girl's supposed to call me. And you got to go back. And, if they left a message or, maybe you had a recording device, a recorder, or you had it on your phone. But when you left, you didn't have a phone. I didn't have that phone. People would call, you would miss their call. I still remember thinking, I hope this chick calls me because I'm going out at 8 o'clock. And if she didn't call me by 8 o'clock, then, well. And that would happen sometimes. And, you try to call them, and it was a pain in the neck because no phones. Now, look at it. Now, this happened everywhere. But this has affected Thailand and how traditional it is. And Jim, I was just talking about you. And I said, in your village, I'm sure it's much more traditional than it is if you're, say, in the heart of Bangkok. One thing I did forget, which I need to say real quick. Today, $1 is 33.74 bahts. Today in Bangkok, the air quality is 165. That is 10th in the world. Bangkok is 138, which is 17th in the world. Chiang Mai is 147, so it's 15th worst in the world. The temperature, right now it's 23 degrees Celsius, high of 32, low of 21. The feel like temperature is 24. Now what that equates to is a temperature right now of 73.4 degrees, high of 89.6, low of 69.8, and the feel like temperature is 75 degrees. The weather is absolutely perfect right now, but in the next couple hours it's going to be hot. And that's how things go here. It's usually hot. Can't get away from it. Now, let's see here. What am I looking at? Thailand is selectively traditional. And, that's kind of like it takes the good and gets rid of the bad. It sticks to its customs when convenient, but adapts when necessary. The more rural or family-orientated the setting, the more traditional it remains. But in urban centers, such as here in Bangkok, it's clear that modernity is reshaping the long-term norms, long-standing norms. And I'm just curious to know, when you talk about Thai society, what is the one aspect of the society that really it makes you, what can I say about this? Which one intrigues you the most? Which aspect of Thai society intrigues you the most? I'm talking about the culture, the society. Because for me, it is about the changing, a little bit about the changing of how people are. They're still very friendly. You know, I mean, it is. You can't say that Thailand is not friendly. And I know that some people might go, oh, well, they're only friendly because they're trying to get your money. Well, maybe in tourist areas. I feel there's a much greater sense of community here. Many of the residents have lived in the same home their entire life. A lot of older citizens, especially in my neighborhood. Now, I have a saying that I used to say, and it had to do with women, but then it once I realized, wow, this is not just women, this is everything. Because like Jim said, some people, they may work their job all their life. They may work that job for 60, 70 years. Some people may live in the same home, and that, I mean, my wife's mother, she lived in that house her whole life. So the things just don't change. People know each other, and what I used to say was, everything comes around. So what that means is, and I learned this the hard way, I would get pissed off about something, and I'd just lay into the person, and I'd go away, and then I'd come back, and that person was there, and I'd remember, oh, this person's here, they're going to be here for a long time, I better get along with them. I better not lay into them and give them shit every time I see them because they're inept. If they're inept, you need to work with them and speak nicely with them and try to get them to be able to handle whatever it is you need to have done. And that is important because, you know, I mean, I come into the grocery store, there are people here, I'm sure it's the same way in Japan, right? I go to the grocery store here, most of the girls at the counter, they remember me, they know me. I'll never forget, there was a girl here, she still works in the mall. I don't know where she is now. But I went up to the counter a couple of times, and she just happened to be working. You know, at the counter when I went up, and she checked me out or whatever. I mean, checked out my, you know, all my goods. But one day she said to me, I'm just wondering, you ever gonna ask me out? And I was like, oh. And I went, well, I don't think my wife would like that. And she went, oh. And you know, about 2 months later, it was probably more like 6 months later, I came across that same girl and she was pregnant. And I thought to myself, well, she obviously has somebody, but I also thought, who knows, maybe she was just trying to get me, lure me in as a sucker to try to pay for everything. I don't know. I never found out, and I don't talk to her. But I just thought, wow. But that girl still works here. I had a problem here at the mall once. I got pissed. I was like, why are you making things so difficult? I was trying to tell the lady. Because she was a bit like, huh? You know, she didn't grasp what I was trying to say to her. And so I said, I'd like to speak to a manager. And I never do that here. And so this girl came up, and she's a attractive girl, woman, you know, I mean, she's probably about 35, 30, 38 now. And this is like 10 years ago. And she said, in perfect English, she comes up to me and goes, oh, well, so what is the problem here, sir? And I told her, and she goes, oh. So then she spoke a little Thai with the girl, told the girl, you know, and the girl left. And she said to me, you know, you should lighten up a little bit on this girl. She's never going to understand you. She's not going to understand what you're trying to tell her. I understand what you're saying, and I'll see what I can do for you. And you know that girl started coming into, my nose is all stuffed up today again. That girl came into Starbucks when it was here, and I saw the girl. And she kind of smiled, and I smiled, and I thought, oh, God. You know, I thought, oh, she probably thinks I'm a dick or something, you know. And again, I saw her. And on that day, I happened to have a couple of free coffees. And so I said to the Starbucks girl, I said, no, she doesn't have to pay. And no, she said, I'm going to get a coffee. I said, no, I pay for you. I got it. It's no problem. Got her the free coffee, and we started talking. And I won't say I became friends with her, but we got to know each other a little bit. And I see her around the mall every once in a while, and I've seen her out on the street, and she sees me, hello, and she says hello. So everything comes around. You will, at some point, run into people like that. You may meet this person, and you think, oh my God, this person's a dummy. Now, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But you may have to deal with them for a long time, so you got to figure out a way to deal with them. I see my extended family making an attempt to introduce and incorporate traditional culture into their children. Oh yeah, the schools do for sure. Chow Lee, the founder of the city, is revered. The Frenchman page 6 or something. When my kids were in school, every Father's Day, my kid would say to me, Daddy, you have to come to school today. Why? It's Father's Day. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. I go in, and all the teachers would why me, and all the other fathers. And then we'd sit there, and they would do this little, I think it was kind of a religious thing. They would go up and do it, and I would sit there in the, you know, they had all these chairs. It was like an auditorium sometimes. Sometimes it was outside on the basketball court. And so they were trying to stick to traditional ways of Thailand. And I like that. You know, I mean, it was like I had to take some time out and go down there and, you know, sit there for 2-3 hours. And, but it's still good. You know, still work for me. So that's something else that happens. Let's see here. Younger Thais are increasingly vocal about social and political issues, breaking the stereotype of passive acceptance. Now, the truth is, I think that happens all over the world. Who do you see protesting most of the time for whatever the issue is? Say in the United States or, you know, somewhere else. Most of the time, the majority of the people are younger. They are the students. Now, I don't, you know, they may know what they're getting themselves into. They may know what's happening, or they may not. But I think the majority of the younger people tend to do that. And now, more than ever, and I think it was it 2016 or maybe it was 2004? I think it was 2004. I photographed this protest, and there was all these young people. And I was like, wow, these people, to me, I was like, they're like little kids. But, you know, they were like 18, 19 years old. So Thailand is selectively traditional. It sticks to its customs when convenient, but adapts when necessary. And the more rural it is, you know, the more traditional it tends to be, which is what I was saying with regards to Jim, is that, you know, things tend to be a little different out in the village. Let's see here. What else we have here? Okay. Some of the reasons in the past traditional values around premarital sex, family reputation, and modesty played a strong role in shaping behavior. A chaperone was often seen as necessary to maintain respectability and prevent any perceived immorality. However, as the country has modernized, these social norms have relaxed, especially in urban areas and among younger people. I remember when I went out with my wife the first time, I had to go with other people. She would not go out with me alone. And I also think, while that may have been to stop me from, getting a little too fresh, maybe it was to stop her from getting a little too fresh also. I don't know. But it used to be something, and it probably still happens a little bit today. You want to go out with a girl, man, you're taking out her friend. You're taking out her friend to, the first time. You're also going out with the friend. Now what we did was we went out. I knew these two guys, which I don't even remember, this is long ago. And there were two girls, other girls, and we all went out together. It was three men, three women. And we went out. We just hung out at CASHAPP Road and we went drinking. And we had a good time. And at the end of the night, I said to Bo, who was, became my girlfriend and then my wife, you need any money? And she looked at me and she goes, for what? And I said, I don't know. I said, let me pay for your taxi. And she just goes, yeah, all right, whatever. She took the taxi money. I gave her like 100 baht. But, she was like, she looked at me like, huh? And, it was kind of funny. Let's see here. Urban areas will always be different. Younger people love change and many go against race culture. Yes. I agree. If you're out in the village, and I know most places have TVs now, most houses have TVs, but in the old days, maybe they didn't. And they were not exposed to as much of the outside world. Now, it used to be in like Japan, tell me if I'm wrong, Sam, but it used to be, several decades ago, Japan was Japan. There were no outside influences. You didn't have Nike and, Burger King, and you didn't have all these things. So they have slowly infiltrated not only Thailand, but, Japan and many other countries around the world. This is what's happened. People like this stuff. They like the commercialism. And I don't, really. Yeah, it was a novelty. It's not really something that is the norm. And, I hate to say this, but their own form of Gatorade, yeah. Well, Thailand does too. They got M Sport, right? Sponsor. I don't like Sponsor because it's just loaded with sugar. So is Gatorade. I don't drink that stuff anymore. I used to when I was a kid. It was like when it first came out, I was like, wow, Gatorade. And people get it dumped on their head. Football coaches would get it dumped on their head. Yeah. That's what they do here. So they're similar. The countries are similar, and it doesn't surprise me. And I don't know. Let me see something here. I want to find this out now. I didn't spell it right. Oh. Okay. Now there was a time when Myanmar did not have Coca-Cola. They had their own brand. Just like they have here, they have Est, E-S-T. Est Cola, which I don't like. I don't drink soda much, but let me see something here. Thank you there, FX Trader. Pepsi. I don't know if they have Pepsi. Okay. Yeah, they do, but it's produced by... Oh, they were the first soft drink in 2012. See, this is the thing. In Myanmar, they didn't have any of this stuff. Now they're starting to have it. Now, why do they have it? If you've ever been to Myanmar, you know. It is not what I would call a progressive country. They're not really, they're just not, you know. I can't walk through the mall without seeing a dozen kids wearing Metallica. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I saw a woman wearing a Metallica shirt the other day behind that she was serving food. And I was like, I don't think she even knows what she's wearing. Listen, I'll tell you a story. When I first started going out with my wife, she had this shirt. And it said, Junkie Baby Powder. And it had a syringe and a needle. You know, junkie, heroin. And she was wearing this shirt. And I go, do you know what that shirt means? And she's like, no. She goes, I like it. It's soft. I said, yeah, no, what it says is junkie baby powder. What that means is it's heroin. They're talking about heroin. She was oblivious to it. She had no clue. I mean, you know, you look and some of the stuff that they have, and you know, I mean, they have Osama bin Laden on shirts. You know, like he's some kind of a hero. They have all kinds of stuff, and they just don't know. And they just want to have a piece of the outside world, I guess. You know, I don't know any other reason to wear it. Coca-Cola didn't come to Myanmar until 2013. So, you know, it took a while to get there. And I've been there when they just had, you know, they didn't have Fanta, they didn't have Pepsi, they didn't have Coke, they didn't have any of that. And so, you know, I would go over there and I'd just get water. And, you know, if I had to have something to drink, I'd get a Coke or something like that. But I was like, holy moly, man, they don't even have... And you didn't see any billboards with McDonald's. There's no McDonald's. I don't think there's any McDonald's there now. There used to be, I think, a Pizza Hut, and I think I went with Billy. Hey, thank you very much there, Exeter. Oh, I can't give you a little thing there. Oh, I can't click on yours. Okay. I can't walk. Okay, there's a local contractor. Yeah, Che Guevara. They have no clue who he is. Now let me see something. I want to see McDonald's, Pizza Hut, or Burger King in Myanmar. Neither McDonald's nor Burger King are currently present in the country. Well, now I guess it says, let me see here, Pizza Hut is available in Myanmar, and that's, Billy and I went to a Pizza Hut, and we were amazed because, you know, you could see they had everything open and they showed everybody making the pizza, and it was pretty cool. But the pizza wasn't very good, you know, but, yeah, they're definitely not in Myanmar. Pizza Hut is now 10 years old in Myanmar. So, you know, thank you very much, thank you. You are the third person now. I got 3 out of 5. All I need is 2 more to reach my goal. Thank you very much, Jim. Yeah, let me see here. A little bit slow on the computer's a little slow today. Okay. It is very interesting to see how societal norms evolve over time. And in Thailand, there has been a shift in attitudes towards relationships and marriages, especially as global influences and changes in technology, media, and exposure to different lifestyles have had an impact. Nowadays, think about something. If you're a young guy and you go out with a young girl here, my guess is that when you guys go out and you're having dinner or you're having lunch, you both might be on the phone. Just how it is. You gotta accept it, which I personally think is horrible. They're trying to get the sign up over here. Let me see if I can. How do I get this thing to work? I'm not sure. What should I put up here? Not sure. Let's see here. As more people move to cities for work or studying, they experience a more diverse set of views and behaviors. Oh, that's definitely my wife. Because my wife used to live in the South where, you know, the house is. She used to live there, and she said she was not allowed to go anywhere unless a family member was with her. So she either had to be at school, she had to be studying, or she could be somewhere like a grocery store or something with her mother or sister or something like that. But she could not be out alone. They would not let her out alone. With the rise of internet and global media, younger generations have access to a wide range of cultural perspectives. This often leads to a change in values and behaviors. But you think about it. Once you have that phone in your hand, once the internet and the phone started to explode and it was much more prevalent here, it's inevitable that people will start to look at other cultures and see what's happening there. And they go, hey, why can't I do that? I like that. And maybe it starts to, you know, infiltrate society. And it may take a little while, but it happens. Let's see here. Younger generations are increasingly open about relationships, intimacy, and sexuality, which challenge the traditional norm. Now, if you know anything about Thai women, you know that if it's if the woman is going to some kind of a function, like a business function, it's not a laid back kind of function where, you know, you can go in a pair of sandals or something. It's a business environment. In the vast majority of these kind of situations, the women are not going to be dressing sexy. Although they may look sexy, they may be wearing something that accents their body. However, they are not generally going to have their breasts showing, their arms showing, their midriff showing. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, like, if my wife is going to go, if my wife goes to work, she never shows her arms. That just not happen. She didn't show any cleavage. She didn't show her arms. It just doesn't happen. She always wears a jacket, or she'll wear a sweater, or she'll put a shawl over her or something like that. But there's no way that she's going to go out and, you know, even when she was young, she's not going to go out with a half top on her. About the sexiest that she ever really dressed when she went out, and she was with me, is she tied a knot at the bottom of her shirt, and you could see a little bit of stomach. That was before we had kids. That was a long time ago. And to me, I was like, whoa, that's risque for you, you know. In the past, families had more influence over personal decisions, including relationships and marriage. Over time, many young people have become more independent in making their own choices. Yeah, that's what they do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think sometimes, I mean, listen, I went out, when we went to Pata the other day, and we went to this apartment, and then we went to this place. It's called the Ravela Cafe. It's right next to Klong, what is it? Klong Lat Mayom. It's right across the street from it. Very nice place. Very nice coffee shop. We didn't have any coffee there because there was a group of about 6 women sitting there. And they're eating their food, and the food looked so good that Tom and I said, you know what, we got to have lunch here. So we had lunch there. The women, they all had sarongs on. They all had traditional kind of outfits on. They were a little bit older. They were like, I'm talking about 40s and 50s. And, they were not, showing some leg and all that. Now, the people working there were wearing the, Chinese New Year kind of outfit, like a red, one had a red skirt on, and on the side there was a slit, you could see some leg, because both Tom and I were going, whoa. But I don't think that was done intentionally. Like, hey, I'm going to show my leg, maybe I'll get more customers. That was not how it was. They weren't like that. So, it's something else you got to think about. But in the past, the families had a lot more influence. They still have influence. Like, we have a lot of influence over Alex and Nicholas. I mean, a lot. And, I think that's how it should be. Because if the family, mother and father, and sisters and brothers are not helping keep the others from the family in line, who's going to do it? The teachers? I mean, teachers have a lot of pull. But I don't want them dictating what goes on in my family. So that's why my wife and I have a pretty good grip on what's going on with the family. And the whole pace of change can be different from region to region with families. Think about something else. Think about how in the past, it was normal for a woman getting married to get sin sawed. I'm talking about 50 years ago, 40 years ago, even 30 years ago. It was normal. I'd say the vast majority of them, they got some form of sin sawing. Now, that is, I don't want to say it's a dying tradition, but it is not as prevalent as it once was. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know what you're talking about with the brown MC Hammer pants, but they had to dress up, and we still have, I have a video of Nicholas when he was about, oh God, he had to be 8 years old, 7 years old, something like that. And he had to go in and do this dance, and he had to dance with this girl. He was doing a dance alone, and then he had to walk over, and then the girl next to him kind of like, said yes or whatever, and then he started dancing with her. And I mean, it was, I still have this video. And it's cutesy, right? That's what they want. They just want it to be kind of cutesy, but it is part of the tradition. And he had to go, both of them had to go several times. Just like I said, they always were doing things in school. And to me, it's like, we got to go through this. To him, it was like, hey, this is part of the tradition. Every wedding that I have been to here has elaborated on the sin sod. What do you mean elaborated? They had sin sod? Because nowadays, sin sod is nowhere near as prevalent as it used to be. Most guys now, when I came over here, it was like, oh, I'm going to have to pay $10,000? oh my God, I guess I gotta have the money for that. Oh, wow. Now, you know, guys are like, wait a minute, you know, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I gotta think about this. Well, I mean, I've been to several weddings and they did have it. One guy gave, I mean, this is 15 years ago, and he's not married to the girl anymore, but he gave her 700,000 baht and 5 baht of gold. And, you know, it was something that had to be done. You know, and when it comes to like my wife and a lot of other guys, I know plenty of guys, you know, the girl goes, you want to get married? All right, let's get married. They just got married. That was it. You know, no celebration, nothing. And listen, if it came down to it like now, and I wanted to do something nice for the family, I'd probably throw them whatever I could afford. You know, I mean, whether it's $500,000 or $1 million baht, just because. I mean, I didn't give any sinsod back then, but maybe I would do it just because I think after all these years of her putting up with me, and there were some things that she didn't have to put up with. I mean, truly, she could have divorced me. Yeah, but it's not about the women, although, you know, it is partially. It's mainly about the family. It's the family and the face that they gain from getting the sinsod. Now, what a lot of people do is they get the sinsod and then the family just gives it back. Or the family gets the sinsod and maybe gives them a piece of land with a house on it or something like that, or gives them a car, whatever it may be. The last wedding I went to, I was asked to, what is this here? I was asked to, what is this lag with the chat here? Oh, okay. I was asked to carry a covered basket on the procession of the fact that it's going to carry hundreds of thousands of baht sinsod to the family home. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, well, when the 700,000 came out, we had to carry that out to the groom, and then he and the bride came together, and then, you know, they, whatever they did, they didn't kiss. There was none of that. But, you know, that's a tradition that, for whatever reason, whether it is because women are earning more money and people are earning more money, the wages are going up, although they're not going up as much as the cost of living for the most part. It's a I don't want to say it's a dying tradition, but the tradition is it's on the decline. It's not quite what it used to be either. You know, and I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was coming to Starbucks was here. What the fuck was her name? Was it Ba or what the hell was her name? What was the last one that was here? I can't remember her name. I can't remember it. I don't even remember what it is now. Anyway. No, Preo was the one, and Preo is the one who was like kind of getting fit, but she's a little bit different, we'll say. I don't want to say crazy, just different. There was Tien, and then there was the other one. Was it Ma? I can't remember. Anyway, I asked all three of them, hey, if I wanted to marry you, what would I need to do? How much money? Would I need any money? And all of them said yes. But this is probably 10 years ago when I asked them. I think Preo said she'd need at least like 400,000. And I think it's Ma. I think that's what her name was. I can't remember. I think she said 500,000. Now I think she's a nurse at a hospital or something, or admin. I think that's what she does at a hospital. Preo, I'm not sure because I stopped following her on Instagram and she stopped following me. Just because I just didn't want people. I just don't want that many people on Instagram. So if people want to follow me, they can follow me, but I don't want to follow anybody because I don't want to look at it. You know, I don't want to sit there and waste my time looking at Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And even with YouTube, I pick and choose carefully. You know, I may spend a half an hour or an hour on some days where I just sit there, I watch this, it's 10 minutes. Go to the next one, watch that, 5 minutes. Go to this one, it's 30 minutes. That's what I do. But anyway, they all said to me, and I think that Tian, I think she got something like 1 million baht. She was a smart girl, that one. But, and then there was another one who she had a nose job, who Tom did not like. He thought she was a stuck-up bitch. But because she was from Laos, I would speak Laos to her, Lao to her. I would speak that to her. And she just loved it because I would, you know, I would say that to her and she'd be like, oh, it's like, I love you, you know. I would just say stupid stuff and she would like giggle, you know, so I could talk to her. Where Tom would go up and, you know, he'd be like, hey, you know. Oh yeah, sure. I don't think Gennaro was getting any of those girls. I'm sorry. I think if he was lucky, he would get, you know, what most guys get. A middle to lower class woman. You know. That's another thing. Tradition or not, one tradition that does not die is that the elite and the upper upper income, upper middle income, not so much upper middle income, but the upper income women who tend to be a little bit lighter skinned. I know girls, they just tell me, and it's not like I'm after them and they just want to make sure I don't go after them or something like that. They know I'm married and stuff like that. They would tell me, I don't want to be with a foreigner. Why not? Oh no, I cannot. I cannot bring the foreigner home to my family. My mother and father would die. So that tells you something. All the misstreams of our Thai society is traditional as it seems. I don't know. You gotta figure that one out yourself. I still haven't figured it out. I think it's still very traditional, but as I was saying, I think that they pick and choose how traditional they want to be. You know? G'day, mate. I don't know whatever happened to Gennaro. I'm going to say that right now. He got pissed off because I told him to stop speaking in foreign languages. I said, I mean, it happened like 3 or 4 times where he said, hey, you know, he said something like Spanish. And I said, Gennaro, this is not a Spanish channel. Speak in English. If you want to say something, you know, say, I think this is said like this, you know, say a phrase or whatever. Fine, then people know what it is. Oh, okay. Then he did it again in like Korean. He thought he was Mr. Linguist. And then he did it in Thai, you know, and I just went, dude, you need to stop this. I mean, it irritated me because I was like, listen, have some respect. I told you to stop it, now stop it. And he didn't stop it. And then maybe because of what I said to him, I don't know where he is. He could be on the channel right now using some other name. I don't know. I know he changed his name. It's not Gennaro, and it's not whatever else he was using. He changed it to like Shadow something, or I forget what it is, but I know he changed it because he's still allowed to come in. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Billy was a wonderful moderator. I don't know what's happened to Billy now. Billy is he's just doing his own thing. So I don't really have a moderator anymore, and I don't really need a moderator. Originally, I allowed Billy to become the moderator because he had like 2 accounts, and the one account, for some reason, it would not let him post. I said, okay, let me make you a moderator, and then you can post whatever you want. And so I did that, and that's why he was a moderator. And then he just did it a little bit just to help out, and he was very good at it. Because, I don't want to, we don't need to ban people most of the time. We don't need to, it doesn't have to be a lot of conflict. Gennaro never really took part as a moderator. He was just, he was a Weisenheimer. Let's put it that way. Dowlo, we were talking about the former Starbucks, well, I don't know if they were hotties. They were cuties. There's a difference between cutie and hottie. And what had happened to them, and I made the Gennaro joke. I kind of miss him. I'll be honest. You know what happens, Jim? And it may happen with you. It may happen with Dowlo. It may happen with everybody else on this in this stream. For sometimes for years. I mean, there are some people that have been following me from the very beginning. Like Billy, Jono, Carlos, Jim. Pretty much, they've been following me for many years. And yeah. I don't know what I was going to say. But, there were some people that would be on for quite some time, and I really enjoyed it. And yes, it was like we had a little family. It was nice. But what you see, and what I recognized and realized, is that that's who it was, Beer. She was very nice. She was always really cool to me, man. I could talk to her. I talked to her about all kinds of stuff. I knew about her, guys that she was seeing. There was all kinds of stuff that we talked about. And she would work and talk to me at the same time, so it was all good, Yes, you too. But what happens is, it's just like music. It's like I may like Led Zeppelin. Well, not Led Zeppelin because they went out pretty quick, but I may like a particular group in music. And then for some reason, maybe they have an album and it's not what I thought it would be. And then the next album, it's not that good. And then I'm like, all right, well, I don't listen to them as much. The same thing happens on YouTube channels. People come and go. Some people stay for a long time. Now, for the life of me, honestly, I went to the Van Boy their live stream yesterday, and I commented a couple times because somebody was asking. He's still around. He left a comment the other day. I think he's just busy. But that's another thing. People get busy, and then they go, I ain't got time for this guy. I understand. I don't take it personally. But I went on to the Van Boys yesterday, and somebody goes, can you tell me a good place to go in Thailand? And I said, they didn't say anything about his question, so I wrote, if you want to go somewhere that's different and it's off the beaten track, go to Bangkok. And I think they saw me on there. I don't know if they know who I am or anything. It doesn't really matter. But I don't, I don't understand how they have 100,000 subscribers. That's why I don't worry about YouTube too much. Subscribers, the money, the whole, I don't get caught up in that because, like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. Because there's people that they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They got 1.5 million subscribers. They don't know why they have that many subscribers, And then there's people who are really smart and they got, 1,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers or something like that. Yeah, Monash commented about 4 or 5 days ago on one of the videos. Anyway, let me get back to this. I'm getting off track, completely off track here. Yeah, well, one thing I wanted to know is, what do you guys think? What have you noticed that has changed in Thailand besides the price of women? Oh, it's 100 baht. I know that's big money. I don't know if you remember, Dowlo, but do you remember when I used to stream and Dennis was the moderator? Which I'm not going to say anything about him really, but you know, I used to make $300 to $500 on live streams. You know, and I was so surprised. I was like, holy shit, man, this is great. You know, but nothing lasts forever. And you know, I was like, I felt really lucky. I felt like, woo. No, that's true. You know, yeah, I need 2 more live streams, 100 baht each. So hopefully I can get 200 baht and I'll hit my goal. And then I can end the month and I go, all right, I think I beat last month, which I didn't make that much last month. Well, I don't think, honestly, that YouTube is about, unless you have an instructional channel, I don't think it's about teaching people. I think it's about entertaining people. You know, really. And so if you find somebody entertaining, you're going to watch them. If you find somebody boring, you might not watch them. That's why I think some people don't want to watch me, because they think I'm boring sitting here talking. But as I said a while ago, I am going to lessen the number of streams, and I have already started to lower the numbers and do more videos. And what that does is it's bringing up the number of views per video, while the live streams, yes, you are, and you are appreciated. And the number of views on the live streams actually are a little bit better, because I'm not live streaming quite as often. So, you know, I mean, listen, I just grasp at air. I try to do what I think is right, what's going to help the channel, and I don't worry about it too much. I don't worry about very much, too much. You know, I'm not all that, I try not to be all that stressed out about much at all. I mean, am I stressed out about the air pollution and water pollution and ground pollution? No. I would like to see the government take care of it, and people kind of somehow take care of it, a private entity take care of it. I would like to see that happen. But I don't think it's gonna. Now, I saw a video the other day about Cambodia and how clean it is now. And if you know anything about Cambodia, back 10, 20 years ago, it was filthy. It was very dirty. Now you see people taking pride in where they live, cleaning up. There's no garbage on the ground. I think that's what has to happen here. You know. Now, I gotta say, you know, when I went to Kanom, I don't know how many months ago it was, or if it was a year yet. I don't think it was. When I went to Kanom and Sichon, it was pretty clean. And I think, how does it stay that clean? Well, I think it's just because people are not throwing out garbage. You're just going, I don't care about it. Oh, there's a canal. Let me throw this in the garbage. You know, I follow many YouTuber channels to have vicarious experience. I follow much fewer Thai YouTubers now that I live here. Yeah. That's a reason that I think a lot of people watch also. First of all, to be entertained, but they live vicariously through you. You know, I mean, there are a few things that I have talked about doing that I will do this year. And there are a few things that I don't talk about doing, and I'm going to do them. And, you know, if that helps people and they are a little inspired, and that's great. That's the way I look at it. It's fantastic. if I can inspire somebody to come over here or, you know, think about giving this place a chance, I think that's all you can really do. You know, I'm not going to beg people to come here, because frankly, I'd like less people to come here so that there's not that many foreigners here. But, you know, that's not how it works, right? I mean, supposedly, I don't know if you guys know about the show White Lotus. If you don't know about it, it's a show where I think it took place in Hawaii and Italy. Each season, a season in Hawaii, a season in Italy. And what happens is they have a group of people that come over to Hawaii, come over to Italy. Well, I like Bourdain. I don't like Zimmer and all that much. Nothing against him, but just I don't prefer him. Anyway, they come over to these destinations. They come over to Hawaii, come over to Italy, and then they show all these things going on in their life, and what happens, and with the people where they're staying, and you know, it's like it's almost, I don't want to say it's a soap opera because it's not really, but it's a fun show. Now, this third season that's coming up next month, I think it starts February 19th, February 26th, something like that. It's taking place in Thailand. What is it? Koh Samui? I forget what it is. Where the hell it's at. Let me see. Okay, it's in Koh Samui and Phuket and Bangkok. Now, this alone is pretty big for Thailand, right? However, if you know who Blackpink is and you know who Lalisa is going to be in season 3 of The White Lotus. So she'll be on the show. Now, people would watch it just because it's in Thailand, but because she is on, many Asians and also Westerners will be watching because, you know, she's cute, she's a singer, you know, and she's Thai. So they want to back their own, right? I just read that because of this, tourism next year is tourism this year is supposed to be 20% up from last year. Wild. So wild. So, watch White Lotus. It's a good show. It is a good show. Well, yesterday was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was Chinese New Year. It's 3 days. So it's the 27th, 28th, 29th. So it's over. None of you guys have heard of White Lotus? I'm surprised. What's going on here? Have any of you guys heard of White Lotus? Well, that's all there is season 1 and season 2. Season 3 is coming in a couple of weeks. haven't heard. I'm surprised, to be honest. I'm surprised your wife hasn't. The thing is, it's not on like Thai TV, and I don't know what it is on when it comes to. Is it on HBO or what is it? I'm trying to think of what it is. Let me see here. Let's see. Is shown on HBO and can be streamed on Max. Now, I don't know if it's on. I don't know if it's on HBO here in Thailand. But if you have a Fire Stick or something like that, you can watch it on that. I mean, I watch everything just because I have 2 Fire Sticks. So I can watch all kinds of things, and, you know, it's very easy for me. You know what I really miss this show that I used to watch all the time? It was Nat Geo Adventure, and they had these people that went around the world and they showed everything, and they were fantastic. And now they don't even have Nat Geo Adventure anymore here in Asia. It's not even on anymore. I don't know why. All right, we're running out of time here. That means I'm running out of time for the 100 baht on what is this, Super Chat? Gotta make those $2. What is it? No, it's not $2. 100 baht's about $3, so it's $6. I'm hoping I get those $6. Can I meet my goal? I've only met the goal one time, and that was the last time. So, on other occasions, I have not met the goal. Anyway, Lalisa, you guys do know who Lalisa is, right? With Blackpink. And, you know, I'll be honest, I can't stand her music. No offense to all the Thai people out there, but I mean, you know, I think she looks good. She looks pretty good. And she looks the part, but, you know, she does the whole look at the camera and winks and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't know. You know, it's all that, like, to me, it's like kiddie pop. It's not my favorite, you know. There's Jim. Help a brother out. All right, let me help you out with a like. There we go. Give you another like. Give Jim a like. There he is. That means I only need one more. So if there's anybody out there who wants to give 100 baht for a good cause, today's the last day of the month. You are the last contributor of the month if you give me the 100 baht super chat. So I'd appreciate that. And give Jim a thumbs up on his super chat. I'd appreciate that as well. Let's see here. We already talked about that. Let's stop that. Let's go here. I know there's other things that I wanted to talk about that I have to get to. Yeah, the generational divide. Older Thais, particularly those over 50, often hold on to traditional values. That's why I say my wife she'll be 48 soon, and she's pretty traditional. The respect for elders is known as Grengjai, and it is deeply ingrained in their lives, and there's a strong adherence to hierarchical structures, both in family and society. Religion, particularly Buddhism, plays a major role in guiding behavior, and the concept of saving face or avoiding embarrassment also holds great importance. You know, saving face is still important here. Although there's a difference between saving face and, you know, there you go. Oh. Did I hit it or no? Nope, I didn't hit it. Damn. Well, thank you anyway, Dowlo. Appreciate it. Let me see if I can give you a thumbs up. Give him a thumbs up. There you go. Thank you, thank you. So we got about, let's see here, 15 minutes left. 15 minutes for $3. Now, where am I? Shitty Aussie exchange rate. Younger Thais, especially those in urban areas like Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Phuket, are increasingly embracing modern ideas, driven in part by globalization and the influence of social media. This generation is more liberal in its views on issues like relationships, sexuality, and individuality. Younger Thais are more likely to question traditional norms, seeking great independence and opportunities for self-expression. The whole thing about self-expression always gets me. I'm going to get a tattoo because it shows who I really am. I'm going to do this because I'm going to have blue hair because it sets me different. I show that I'm different from everybody else. Listen, I'm different. I know I'm different. But guess what? I'm also the same. You can have blue hair, but you're still a human being. You still have a vajayjay and a willy. You know. At least most people do. You still have a mouth, you have a nose. I mean, you know, how different are you really? Thai youth are far more connected to global trends. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube allow them to engage with a global community, influencing their fashion, lifestyle, and even political views. Listen, there's a girl that my wife, she watches sometimes. I forget, what is her name? Picky or something. Piggy or something. I can't remember what it is. Pick Pop or Pick... I don't know. Hang on a second. Maybe I can find it. And she's very good. What is her name? Maybe I won't be able to find it. I don't know. Pigaploy. Yeah, that's her name. Pigaploy. Now, she has to be about, I don't know, I'm going to guess, 25 years old. And she's really good. Really, really good. Now, do I watch her? It's not my, you know, I like National Geographic. I like, you know, guys who go out and they're trekking through the jungle and stuff like that. I don't like little cutie pies who are giggling. I mean, I like them, but I don't like them for the same reason, you know. And she's very good. I mean, you know, I will say that. And I do like her. Yes, remember the long streams about the golden and dark triangle. There will probably be disagreements, but I believe the tourist areas and the rest of the kingdom are becoming more isolated from each other's solution. I don't know about that. Probably. Maybe. I mean, you know, Pattaya is what it is. It just is what it is, you know. And I know there's places that you can go and everything's, you know, peachy, but the majority of the place is not. That's my opinion. You know, you go down to the, you know, Main Street or whatever, you know, I'd rather be other places. Let me sit out in Kanom somewhere in the bungalow, chill out there, go out on a boat, you know, go down to Sichuan, take a motorbike, run around, get something to eat. For me, that's fine. For others, it's boring. But, you know, I've done a lot of the things that most people don't think are boring. I've done zip lining, although I didn't do it very well. You know, I've been zip lining. I walked around a mountain. I've done, you know, all sorts of stuff. So, you know, wife has placed PG. What do you mean? I don't understand. I don't understand you. Oh, Phuket. Phuket, if I remember correctly, is a big tourist destination. Let me see here. Oh my God, the sleeper bus. I never want to do that again. I did that so you don't have to do it. I also get tired of Pattaya pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, you know, just to be honest, I mean, you can go to a couple of places, you know, little tourist areas. You can go to Koh Lan and, you know, you can have a nice time. I'm not saying it's not a nice place. It's just not my cup of tea. And I don't know if it would be yours either. I mean, you know, to me, Koh Lan is, maybe it's because, here's the thing. I've been traveling many, many places past 30 years. Past just, you know, the last 12 years on YouTube. I've been to a lot of places. You know, I've been to the Bahamas and the Caymans and Canada and all these other places. So now I've been a lot of places, and I've been all over Southeast Asia for sure. So maybe I just don't get excited as easily as I used to. That one is in first. Now that would probably be up there in the top 5 of places that I went that were just, I was miserable. I was miserable the whole trip. It sucked. The best part of the trip was when I got off of the bus and went to my hotel. That was the best part of the trip. You know. You know, hang on a second here. Let me see something here. Now, they are still selling all kinds of Chinese food. They have like pork belly. They're selling right out here, which I'll probably go back and get some today. Phuket is have fun. That's all I'm going to say. Phuket is a tourist trap, and it's become more so a tourist trap in the last 10 years. And it used to be, you know, a little island paradise, just like all these other places. But now it's seen a massive influx of tourists and overdevelopment and rising prices. There's overdevelopment, high prices, scams and overcharging, lack of authenticity. The island now caters primarily to packaged tourists, especially from China, Russia, and Korea. Authentic Vietnamese culture is hard to find. Environmental damage. With rapid development comes pollution, plastic waste, and damaged coral reefs, just like in Thailand. Some beaches are no longer as pristine as they once were. Crowds and traffic. The main areas like Duong Dong and the southern parts of the island are far from the tranquil paradise people expect. Is it still worth visiting? If you avoid the main tourist zones and head to the northern beaches or the small fishing villages, you can still find pockets of peace. But if you're looking for an untouched island escape, Phuket is not what it used to be. If you're considering it for long-term living, you might be better off in less commercialized coastal areas of Vietnam like Con Dao, Quy Nhon, I love Quy Nhon, or Phan Rang. I went to Quy Nhon. I might have seen 2 or 3 tourists the whole time I was there, and as I've said many times, and you know, I made a video about it, I went down to the beach, and there was absolutely nobody there for 3 miles. Nobody. Now, it was a cloudy day, but I mean, there was nobody on the beach. It was just me. And I was like, this is my beach. Yeah. You know, it was fantastic. So, Jim, I'm just telling you, be prepared. If you go with a wife, be prepared that you may want to tell her that, and, you know, you can prepare yourself. As far as the boat to Luang Prabang, it was a nice experience. You know, you're not getting on the sleeper bus, but the boats, it's a 2-day journey. You have to stop, so make sure you got a hotel. But I mean, they're cheap. They're like $20 or something. However, the boat is full of about 100 tourists. I'm talking about backpacker types. So, again, prepare yourself for that. Is what Quignon? Quignon is the place I just talked about, where the beach was. I was alone on the beach. I love that place. That was probably one of Quignon and maybe Da Nang, but in a different way, were probably the best places that I've been. And I liked Hue, but Hue was a tourist area because of the war, because that's where they had you know, a lot of stuff going on during the war. Now, it's easy to find. It's not G-U-Y, it's Q-U-Y, which may be why you might not be able to find it. All right, the countdown continues. We only got a few minutes left. One more. Let's go. Oh my God. Can I get that extra 100 baht? I mean, where did I go from there? Oh, Quignon. Now, you can take a Grab motorbike or car or whatever, but I took the motorbike. And I went to some fantastic places. And I don't remember the name, but I can look them up and tell you where they were, Jim. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I went to one place and I thought, well, first of all, I think it was maybe it was during the COVID, or maybe it was before. I had a lunch. There was nobody in the place. There was nobody in the whole place. It was just me. And then you look up on the side of these mountains that they have these mountains, little mountains. They're more like hills. And you have like goats on the side of the mountain, and goats are walking around on the ground. You're walking around, there's goats. And then you have to walk down. You walk down these steps, and you go down, and it's like the rocks are sticking up like this, and you're going down, 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 and then you get down. Thank you very much. Now I have... What the hell happened? That's 100 baht. I don't know why it's not counting it. Well, I count it, so that's good for me. Thank you very much, Macon. Macon Mills. Thank you. To me, I hit my goal. So, but you know what? They had a. Let me think about. Hang on a second. Let me just look at something real quick. They had a huge, like, gold Buddha up on this hill by where I was talking about. Oh, it was Iogio. That's the name of it. Let me just tell you. Why didn't it show up? Yeah, number 3, EOGO. When you look up on the top 15 things to do, EOGO is number 3. Yeah, here it is. EOGO. Doesn't tell you anything about it. Why doesn't it tell you anything about it? What is this thing here? It's a, let me see if this is a gold Buddha. Maybe they're going to show me. I don't know if this is a Buddha or not. I can't see it, and I don't remember. Oh, they definitely do, but I think the reason they don't put them out is originally they didn't put them out because they were worried about people putting bombs in them. Believe it or not. I'm going to write this down and let me see here. And I'll give you a little more information about this place. This is one place. And I went to like 3 places when I was there, and they were all really cool. It's a neighborhood in Quy Nhon. It's a hidden gem in Vietnam that offers an enchanting blend of natural beauty and tranquility. Let me see here what this guy says. It is part of Lai Luang village. Let's see if I can see anything more. Where did it get its name? It's a hidden gem, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, yeah, you got the place where you can go out over the water. I really like this place. It was really pretty cool. I'm going to give you a link to a place here. But they also have, up on a hill, they have this, I don't know if it's a Buddha or maybe an ancient warrior or something like that, but let me just see if I can get over here and give you the link. There you go. The thing about Quy Nhon is that it is not a tourist trap. It's very nice, man. It was really nice. I went to Quy Nhon, and then I went to some little fishing village, and the fishing village was like, it was in opposite directions of where this EOGO was. And they just dropped me off on the, it was Grab. They dropped me off on the side of the road. I walked down the street, and I was like, wow. I walk around, and it's just a fishing village. And at the time, there wasn't much going on. But I went through the houses, and you see all kinds of cool stuff. And then then when I got down towards the beach, on the left, there was some guy doing something with crab or fish or something, I can't remember. And we started chatting a little bit. And that was kind of cool. I had a little semi-conversation with him. And then you go down and there's the beach. And there's all these boats, but there's no people. And I think I made like a teaser for the video and used Pink Floyd's music. But I couldn't make the video because there was too much wind and there was too much motion and there's all this other shit going on in the video. And it was, but it was still a really cool place. And I went, of course I went, and they had a little house there that I got a coffee from, and I had a little sweet, canome. And that was really cool. And then, by the time I was done there, I was like, all right, so how am I going to get back? Just call the Grab. Grab came and picked me up right there. I jumped on the back, and then we went all the way to EOGO. And I mean, it was like an hour away. And, the wind it was so windy, and I just remember on the back of that bike just going, holy shit, I hope I make it there. And I did. And it was great. Well, I don't know about Vin Pearl, but I'm telling you that that place is a happening place. Here's another one. Let me see here. I don't know how much this is going to tell you. Yeah, it doesn't tell you hardly anything. Yeah, this one doesn't tell me anything. What's the other one that I went to? I don't even remember. You know, I have to look. That's why it's good to have video. It's good to have written literature that you keep or that you do yourself, and your notes. Like, I have all my tickets that I bought and all my, so I know how much I paid for everything, you know, and for hotel rooms and stuff. So, you know, like, for instance, I put Tokyo, April 2025. I put the ticket in the little folder. Then when I get the hotel, I put the hotel in there. You know, and that way I have all my notes, and I know, and then I also have, you know, notes that I actually make of each place. So those things help me figure out what happened, you know, from years before. But I really like Quinyon, and I was there by myself, and I had such a great time there. So a lot of fun. Anyway, what I'll try to do, Jim, is find some of the videos. And maybe I'll have some video footage that I didn't put up, and maybe I can send it to you, and just look to see, to give you an idea. But yeah, that was, you know, it's been a couple of years now, but it's been 4 or 5 years. But it was a great place, and that was when I took the train from Hanoi, and then I stopped in Hue, Quinyon, and then I went to Ho Chi Minh, all by train. And their train was fantastic. I loved it. I was like, this train is better than Thailand's. You know, much better. So, very interesting. A lot of fun. Good stuff. Anyway, that's how I did it. And I don't know if I'll be going back to Vietnam anytime soon, because I got a lot of other places I'd like to go. You know, I do need to get back to Cambodia, but, you know, who knows when I'll go. My buddy is there, so maybe I should go there, because I could probably go there for dirt cheap and hang out with him and just, you know, spend 3-4 nights, stay in his apartment, you know, hang out with him. Anyway, it's been a long stream. It's almost 2 hours now. It's time to say goodbye, to bid you adieu. I am done. Do not forget, please smash the like button. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. That would be good. I mean, even Ha Long Bay is a bit of a tourist trap, and I think even if you went privately, I don't know, you know, I don't know, because I didn't do the really ultra private tour. But I went, this is a tourist trap. But I just went, all right, I'm going to have a good time. And I didn't worry about it. I just ate my food and did my thing, and it was okay. It was a beautiful spot, you know. So just because it's a tourist trap doesn't mean it's not worth going to. But I think sometimes it's better for me, and I've done this many times, go to places where there aren't that many people. And there are reasons why people don't go. Sometimes they don't go because the place you're going is shitty. Sometimes they don't go because it's difficult to get there, and that's what I try to focus on. At least I used to. So, anyway, that's all I have. That's it. Yeah, no, he's pretty good. I like Bald and Bankrupt better than him, but yeah. Yeah, anyway, so if you can do whatever you want. Look down in the description. Show the love. Be here next time, which I don't know when it'll be, but it may be Sunday. It may be next Tuesday. I don't know. Tomorrow is Alex's surgery, so I hope they do not cancel again or postpone again, because I can't. It's just, I want to get this done with, and I'm sure he does too. So anyway, I am Scott. I am an American in Bangkok. That is all. So until next time, I'll see you later. Chok di leo jerkan mai. That's good luck, and see you later. Arrivederci.